Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message on predicting future fallouts with family members, friends, and even those workers that you got to deal with for 8 to 10 hours or more a day. I know that when everything is good, right, you don't want to think about having a falling out with anyone. When you are riding on blessings, you don't want to think about any type of negativity right around the corner. When you are having your share of triumphs, oh, come on now, Debbie Downer, Negative Nancy, don't come in here telling me anything about anyone, especially those who are close to me, like my family members and my friends. Someone who's listening to this audio message, you've been praying and you want answers from the one true God with regard to future fallouts. What should I prepare for? Should I do business with? Should I invite so-and-so to the next birthday, wedding shower, baby shower, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah event? I mean, do I really want to deal with this individual? I mean, everything was good though, but there's just something about this person I can't quite put my finger on. Do you ever take the time out and sit back and think about these sorts of things? I got too much on my plate to be doing all of that. Well, you know what? Now is the time to start doing it. Too many people are being surprised by the demonic. Too many people are being blindsided by children of darkness. Too many people are having unnecessary falling outs with individuals because you did not want to see the signs. You prayed. You wanted God to bless you. You wanted God to bring people into your life. You wanted God to take you here and take you there and meet this one and meet that one. And, oh, I hope this deal goes through. You wanted all these things from the Lord. So why is it that you don't want to know what could potentially happen if you keep certain individuals around? But we're doing so well. I know. And we're getting along. Nicole, come on now. I mean, I've already cut away and cut off. And the Lord says, and there's still some cutting away and cutting off that needs to be done concerning people, places, and things. How long do we have to keep telling people this? Before it's all said and done, Nicole, I'm going to end up having nobody. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Oh, come on. Let's not exaggerate. Let's not, be that way. God always replaces what he cuts away and cuts off. God always has a way of bringing about some blessings when we least expect it. If only we would let go of some people, places, and things. So how am I going to be able to predict a future falling out concerning family members and friends? Well, if we go back once again to childhood, yes, we are going to unpack some things. And even though I'm really cool with some individuals, what is the likelihood that we're going to have some type of falling out or problem, if you will, or challenge, or they're not really going to want to talk to me or be around me at some point? We got to look at who was around those individuals, who's been around them, who doesn't like you. You may not be talking to certain people, but that person or group is talking to certain people. And if that certain group catches wind from Negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, who doesn't like you, about you, and it's unflattering, people have a way of trying to find any and every excuse not to continue to deal with you. Let me tell you, there were some people who I hadn't dealt with in years. And the Lord said, this is your opportunity to speak your piece, but these aren't going to be people that you're going to keep in your life for long. Oh, not again. It's going to be some disconnect. It's going to be some distance. Not again. Oh, yes, again. Because There were those individuals who I told you to cut away and cut off years ago. You did eventually, but those people kept in contact with the folks that you reconnected with. And the problem with that is that someone is going to start to think about where does their loyalty lie and who's got the bigger purse. And this person might hook me up. So, yeah, it was a nice run, but the falling out comes into play depending on what the communication was. Did this person really accurately communicate said events to the person who you're communicating with? Did that person really tell the truth? Is that person really okay and all right and forgiving? Or are they holding grudges? And yet those individuals in your circle are still reaching out to people who you don't associate or connect with. Yeah, this isn't going to be a happy marriage for long. This isn't going to be a happy connection. There is going to be a falling out of some sorts. Let me give you another example. So we're all, you, me, and everybody else, we're all going to the event. Yeah. Girl, we going to have a ball. I know, right? We're all in positive spirits. But there is someone in the group that we don't know, doesn't necessarily like our type. Maybe we're too bubbly. Maybe we're too loud. Maybe we're too soft-spoken. Maybe we are just very discerning and can see that there's a snake among us. Okay? Whatever the case may be, the toxic individual is studying the room, studying us. And maybe we're just a little bit too happy. And so now she's got to bring up a story, bring up some type of old information. The type of thing that, you get an instant attitude. Like, why did you have to bring that up? We're having such a good time. Okay. Oh, Lord Jesus. We want to be able to have this relationship connection, but there are some people in the room that don't want us to have a healthy, functional connection relationship with said individuals. So when God shows up and tells us that this person is not supposed to be a part of the group, we don't push back. We don't get attitudes. We don't try to make excuses for what God is telling us is not righteous, true, honest. Once again, it doesn't matter the person, place, or thing. God can speak to anyone about anything, especially when you pray, especially when you bring him into all your dramas and traumas concerning someone. I can tell you that you're not going to have a quality relationship connection with someone who not just unequally yoked when it comes to spiritual matters, but unequally yoked when it comes to business matters. You're a hard worker. She's lazy. You're the type of individual that you're outspoken and, you like to get things done. And this one is quiet and doesn't really like to, ruffle anybody's feathers. You see, how long are we going to be able to get along? When I start telling you about the controversial topics and the things that we got to get out here and speak about, and then you start talking about, well, what about my mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, or what have you? Just as Jesus told the disciples, hey, we got to keep going. Forget about mama and daddy. Okay, there's people around that'll bury them. We got things to do. Oh, no, that's too harsh. I'm not ready for that, Jesus. Okay, well, I guess you're just going to have to stay at home then. You can't be on this bus. This bus is going to get controversial. This bus is going to be one of those that's going to be on a bumpy ride. They're going to shoot at this bus. There's some trouble around the corner because we're speaking truth. And when you speak truth, hey, you want the prophecy, you want the prediction, you are a marked woman, a marked man. You thought you was just going to tell people the truth at the last family event and think that nobody was going to have their little powwows behind your back and start talking about all of what you told people? I don't know what planet some individuals live on. Everything's up for discussion when truth is in the room. Everything is up for discussion when we can see the writing on the wall. Let's say when it comes to current events. And it's going to get political, and it's going to get religious, and it's going to get into all sorts of murky waters, if you will. Who wants to swim in murky waters? Of course you don't, but God's going to set some of the believers up for it. The predictions. I see that we're getting along. However, lately, we've got a difference of opinion. I haven't spoken about it. I know I need to, but then you don't. So now you're like a tea kettle because this issue isn't going away. And you don't like how this person is talking to you about it. And at some point, I'm going to have to talk to her. Tone of voice. One particular individual told me that a woman who he works with, she tends to have a nasty little attitude. It doesn't matter if it's a owner, investor, anybody who shows up. She just got this little nasty attitude that shows up in the tone of her voice. And she had been cautioned about that sort of thing. But you know how people do. They make excuses. What is the likelihood that she's going to stay at that organization? She is either going to quit or someone's going to escort her out. I know we all have our share of personal issues. However, you are not going to continue to talk to us like this. Don't you realize that we are your employers? Oh, that's a hard discussion. What are some other predictions that, this happy romance is going to go south? You got to keep talking to somebody about the same old issues with regard to how they make you feel. And they are negative, irritating types of things they do. And yet they continue to do them. At some point, somebody's going to explode. I'm not going to judge you on that. You think I'm going to judge you on that if you go off on somebody, start yelling, freaking out and all that? Because when you got something that is brewing on the inside and you don't address it like you're supposed to, you are like that tea kettle. And then eventually the loud whistle shows up. But in your case, it may be a loud voice, or it may be the silent treatment. I'm just not going to talk to that person because I've had enough. I've already told him that I don't like when he makes that noise, but he makes the noise anyway. I already told him that I don't like when he interrupts me every time I speak. I already told him that I wish that he would do something about that body odor. I already talked to her about all of these issues with regard to this workplace, and she still continues to ignore the issues. And so here we are at the crossroads. What are we going to do about it? You see, you've got to repeatedly tell someone something. This isn't going to end well. How about the one that wants to take up all your time? Right now, everything's great. Yeah, I see her every day. Oh, I see him every day. Yes, I love it. Always text, always says something positive. Love it, love it. Okay, now there's those moments where I cannot answer your text every time you want me to answer your text. Yes, I know you said something really positive the other day. Yes, I could have responded back with something really positive, but I had a lot of other things on my plate. And I just didn't have that frame of mind to really want to talk to anybody. Please forgive me. And that person forgives you once, but no, not twice and not thrice. Now what? You see? People who are easily offended, eventually you're going to have a falling out. You're going to see in the future, when it comes to money, right? Mainstream media keeps pulling on us about money this and money that. Phone calls, money this and money that. Every time you turn around, it's money this and money that. How about I just want to give because I want to give, not because I'm pressured into giving? that I'm not put in a position where it's something that I really need, but you want to price gouge. How about that? That business arrangement is not going to end well. When you're pushing back, when you're the one that's like, no, we're not going to keep nickeling and diming people. When people don't want to speak the truth, and there's a lot of liars in the room, even though we're all celebrating and we're jumping up and down and yeah, let the champagne pour, woohoo! But you know how we got here, right? Don't worry about it. Don't remind me. No, we got here because we were encouraged to tell lies. You know it's going to bite us in the butt. Sooner or later, someone's going to connect the dots and they're going to realize that people aren't really as skilled as they claim. They didn't go to certain schools. They don't have various connections. This isn't going to end well. But yeah, I'll go ahead and take my bonus money and all this good opportunity ahead, and let's travel and do all that. But you know the gravy train is going to eventually run out. So you built the business on lies. You built the relationship on lies. It is not going to end well. How about some other predictions, right? When it comes to celebrities, you got celebrities who have been paraded around us for years. This one is an A-lister. That one's an A-lister. And someone reached out to me and talked to me about a fan ID. Really? So I've got to have some type of ID in order to speak directly with a celebrity. Well, okay. But there are some things that go on with celebrities that they're known for behind the scenes that many of us didn't know. Whoa, that's breaking information. I didn't know that he works with that particular agency. I didn't know that she was a representative of that organization. I didn't know that she invests in, supports, and seeks out people who have this, that, and the other. And it's usually something that you don't agree with. Okay? How long do you think we're all going to get along or like or want to continue to subscribe to? You see. And as we're seeing more and more information come out about celebrities, that also means that we're going to be hitting some people's pockets. You see. Interesting. You're using that content. Shouldn't be using it. Didn't get my permission. I don't care what your name is and what you've done over the years. My work is my work. You're going to see more and more of celebrities caught up in all sorts of scandals because they think they can act like us. They think they can say whatever they want to say to whomever about whatever, and they are severely chastised because of that. The day they sign contracts is the day that they were no longer like us. They are owned. They are handled. And as much as we would love for them to speak truth, like we speak truth, there's a limitation on how much truth. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not really truth if you can't tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you, God. So these little contracts and deals and fans and all this that's associated with the celebrity, well, it's going to slowly but surely come to an end for quite a few A-listers. You really think you can say whatever and do whatever because you are this age and that age, and you've been in the industry for so long, and you made all these wonderful connections, and you did the right thing for government, and they should give you the pass on. And then cancel culture says, no, we're not. It's not going to end well for many individuals in relationships where you opened up the door and you said it was okay for him to be with whoever he wanted to be with, and it was okay for you to be with whoever you wanted to be with, and now things got complicated because now children are involved, and relatives and so forth. Yeah. After a while, I'm burnt out with this thing that we got, whatever this is, and I just want a simple life, and I don't want to be concerned about where you are, what you're doing, or if you gave me an STD or STI nowadays, right? These complicated relationships, that's just an example. And it seemed all well and good, right? When things were trending about this type of relationship and that type of identity and this type of gender. But then things got really complicated really quickly because this one says, I'm not going along with the program. Or this one decides that, no, this is not who I am and stop calling me that. Or this one says, you're not going to define me or put me in a box just because that's what you want. And then you throw in the laws and you throw in community and the way people treat you. This isn't going to end well. You see? You can predict your future. That was the whole point of this audio message. Based on things that you're doing and not doing right now. Based on the way events occur. There are many things that you don't need esoteric knowledge, enlightenment, sitting down, meditating, and quiet and stillness. Some things are just in your face. When you think about your partnerships, connections, and how they make you feel, and the things that you've discovered in your research, in your observation, what does the future really look like? Are you really going to be with that company for a long time? Are you really going to remain in that relationship for a long time? Are you really building towards something, or are you just, coasting along? Or you could be stagnant and there's really no hope for the future. You're just faking it to make it. You see? And God, He calls our minds to all of these things because they all play a part in whether we're going to draw near to the Lord, on whether we're going to take our Job experience and we're going to say, oh, yet they slay me, I will still serve the Lord. You see? Oh, Lord, I need you right now. Someone says, and the Lord says, okay, I'm here. What do you want me to do? I just need to know what it's going to be like in the future when it comes to, and then you fill in a blank. And some prayers get answered rather quickly. Others, no, it's going to take some time because you're not ready to receive the truth. I remember when an evangelist came into my life, and she told me that you're not going to have a large circle. The people that you see around you, I see in the future, there's not going to be many people around you. You're not going to have many friends. And I'm like, oh. She says, no, that's not a bad thing. It's just the way God has it set up in the future for you. You see, He's got a plan. He's got a purpose for you. And it's not going to include all these people that's in your life. So what was the prediction? The prediction was that things were going to happen that were going to cause those people, places, and things that was in my life at that particular time to be no more. And guess what? I didn't want to receive it. Thank you, evangelist, but I don't want to receive this. Doesn't matter whether you want to receive it or not, it's going to happen. Now that was a prophecy that was back when I was 19 years old. At the time of this recording, I am 48 years old. She was dead on. God spoke to her. She told me some other things too. And over the course of those years, she was right. That boyfriend at the time that I was with, that I just knew we were going to be together forever and always. No more. How my relatives were going to react to me as I walked with the Lord wasn't going to be positive, was going to be pushed back. Devil was going to be in the detail. Dead on. It sure happened. She knew that it was going to be a struggle for me because, once again, we don't want to receive the truth for what it is, especially when it interferes with our plans and our purpose, you see. And God says, I have a plan. I have a purpose. That is why I need for you to see things in the way that I see them. And yes, even though it is a positive experience right now, and you're embracing everyone, and you're getting along, and the money is flowing, and the blessings are here, there, and everywhere, it is not going to always be this way. So this is why you're going to have to take your money and put it away like a squirrel with an acorn or a chestnut. Put that money away. And you know that's a downer for some people. I just want to spend up all my money because I know I'm going to get some more. You will get some more, but then eventually you're not going to. All these cautionary warnings, they turn you off when you're in a party spirit, right? You're all happy and excited. Here you come, Jiminy Cricket, sitting on my shoulder, telling me that I need to watch my spending, watch my saving, watch my investing, watch my giving. You just really know how to crash a party, don't you? And not in a fun way. That warning of age. We're getting closer and closer to death. Those writings are on the wall. Those doctor visits. Ugh. You see. And you're not supposed to be wasting time, but yet you waste time doing things that a person who, if they know they're going to pass away tomorrow, would never do. You're taking longer about cleaning the house, or taking longer about organizing, or you're taking longer about all these things that God spoke to you about. Why stretch it out as if you're going to be living forever when these are things that you could take care of to make life easier for your relatives who you will be leaving behind? And some people are convicted. The Grim Reaper is right around the corner. They're convicted. They know that even the most minute thing to you, to me, it is a big deal and needs to get done in their household. I'm hearing somebody saying something in the spiritual realm about how I don't want my family having to see all this junk, God forbid, if I pass away, and have to deal with all of what I brought into this household. So then you do what you need to do. Because the prediction is going to be that they're going to have a falling out over all of this stuff. Yeah. And they're going to be cursing you because you never got certain things fixed in your household. But yet you're going to leave something broke, busted, disgusted, disorganized for your family members who are already stressed. And so they're going to end up arguing among each other over stuff that you should have taken care of a long time ago. Got some addresses and what have you, and sent out things that you know wasn't yours to go to the necessary parties. Oh, there is someone I can see in the spiritual realm. Like, I got a lot of work to do before I check out of here. You do. The predictions are clear. Once again, the predictions are clear when it comes to these things. You just have to be willing to sit down long enough and pay close attention to how these relationships don't always pan out in the way that we want. These friendships don't stick around as long as we want. Some of these opportunities that appear to be great opportunities eventually become what? The blessing becomes the curse. You got that right. We see that people look good, young, strong, alive, well, and then the next thing you know, older, weak, and on their way to their graves. And you can almost predict that, not the day or the hour, of course, but you can almost predict that they're not going to have a long life because look at all the stuff that they eat and drink and smoke. You see, We saw this sort of thing. As I was growing up, I knew I only had so much time with certain relatives. And then eventually, all of what they had ingested in their body was going to catch up to them. And then we were going to be hearing about people passing away. And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The amount of signs that God provided before these people checked out of here. I mean, you already know it's a red flag that somebody is leaving when they're in and out of the hospital. And I have a message that you can pretty much predict when somebody is dying. You don't know the day or hour, once again, but you can predict when someone is dying. It's one of my messages that talk about death. You'll have to go into the search engine on this channel and put in death, dying, words like that, and you'll get a whole slew of messages. Okay, funerals. It was like a pattern of just events. Like, okay, I get the phone call, somebody's in the hospital. I get the phone call again, that same person is out of the hospital. I get the phone call again, that person's back in the hospital. And then maybe a few more visits and the person is deceased. Another indicator was everyone talking about, oh, so-and-so got a child. This one's pregnant. That one's pregnant. Pregnancy all over the place. That ain't nothing but a lot of folk passing away. And sure enough, that's just what happened. Another indicator that things were definitely going south was folks messing up money. Couldn't remember why they spent what they spent it on. Had fallen outs about money. People hesitant about giving people money and all of that. And that was a good indicator that somebody's mind was going. Not necessarily them ready to go, but their mind was going. Because you know how people are about money. It's very important to them. And now suddenly people are doing some things that just aren't adding up. Something's going on with that mind. And then there were dates that were forgotten and bills that weren't getting paid. And folks swearing up and down that they never took something, moved something, gave away something. There was dementia in the camp. There was Alzheimer's. There was somebody even on drugs, but exhibiting all sorts of interesting signs as if they were aging. Meanwhile, drugs came back into their lives. You see, and these things were happening. And I'm like, I don't want to be around some people because I know that this is going to turn into some arguments. This is going to turn into some false accusations. People are going to start lying about things, exaggerating. They're going to try to recruit people to go along with their devious behaviors. I don't want no parts of it because I know God has not called me to this sort of thing. And as I was moving away, it was interesting how people were dropping too. You know, they were dropping. When I say dropping, I mean death. You know, you would hear one call after another. And some of these people I didn't even know. But they were akin to people who I did know. And they too were passing away. When you got people who move real fast through life. And they've got all sorts of connections, friendships, parties, and travel. And some of them involved in illegal activities. It is safe to say that some of these individuals are not even going to make it to 40. You see. And there were those who they didn't. You would hear, this one's always out in the street. This one, you know, he got himself mixed up with this group and that one. And now that one is dead. You see. So I thank those of you all who have taken the time out to listen and you're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You know what the indicators are that this romance, this happy connection, relationship, partnership is eventually going to come to an end. I need to safeguard myself. I need to do the types of things that I'm not going to suffer much of a blow behind all of this. Allow the Lord to lead you, okay? Take the time out to pray. Ask the Lord, what is it that you have yet to uncover with regard to a relationship, a partnership, right? I thank you as always for taking time out to listen. You've been listening to YouTube and I'm Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share. Blessings to you.